I have some questions as well to add to yours. I heard him mention hope. He was doing the project before.
Yes.
Is a hope under investigation?
Supposed to be.
Is that investigation completed?
It hasn't even been started.
How can you give a contractor or a businessman a job to do to build 87 houses to a company that has taken $60 million of Barbados from Barbados taxpayers? Our government must answer that. Is that what from the UK?
Exactly. And remember, White Oak was newly formed.
Yes.
Newly formed, folks. This is why this is. Are you all sharing up this live? This is so important, Mr. Babb.
Yes.
White Oaks. Remember White Oaks, newly formed. And as Caswell told us, with 2 employees. Are we having the same situation here? This was got a wind-up court order by the High Court in the UK with a company with a similar name, and that's what we want him to be able to tell us. Is it the same company? Is that company what a part of the family of companies?
And how much money is he being paid?
There you go. All of these things. Right? I will have to call back that number. I'm not sure if that's Senator Gill. Senator Gill, please call us by WhatsApp if that's you. We would love for you to be on this call. Senator Gill, if that's you, please call by WhatsApp. That would be more helpful for us. But, and I'm looking at your comments. You guys are asking. Thank you, Antonio. You think they can fool Bajans? Look at Antonio's question. I'm going to go back to my presentation, but I wanted to listen. And see, you think you can fool Bajans? The concrete takes at least 28 days to fully cure. He said it over 3 weeks. So how are you going to say you're building the house in 10 days? You don't see, this is a fast talking salesman. If the foundation, how long the foundation is going to take? What are you really building in 10 days? Fast talking salesman. Somebody said it. And this is why this is so important. Not because we don't want Barbadians to have homes. Yes, they should. And it's a great idea. You must commend the government for wanting to do it. But they're going to make a second mistake. Is this a new housing scam? Is this a shady deal? Is this a shaky company? We're asking the questions on here tonight. Media, please do your due diligence. The media of Barbados, I'm begging you, please do your due diligence. We cannot afford another scandal in the housing sector. Let me just continue, Mr. Babb. We have to contrast company PR claims, 10-day houses, 3-day demo with absence of independent completion evidence. Because one of the things that we found, right, is that their PR is dramatic. You know, when you look at all that they have on Facebook and all you know, Instagram, wherever, you see the machines are cutting steel frames, panels snapping into place, and then they promise, you know, you can get it in 10 days. There's even one of the promos, guys, that they showed a demo story house that was assembled in about 3 days. Right? That's factory and assembly speed and impressive when true, if it is true. Right? But there's a difference between a framed shell and a complete, occupied, code compliant house. Do you know that I've been searching and I've not found any public independent records showing modular builds has handed over completed inspected homes with any occupancy certificates in Guyana, in the UK, or Barbados? If it exists in Barbados, we're asking the government to release those records. Are there independent records that modular builds have handed out over completed inspected homes that are code compliant? There's occupancy certificates. Do we have that? Is there a government signed handover lists? Is there whether Guyana? Today, my friends were very busy in Guyana because they had the swearing in Guyana today, and I couldn't get to speak to those that my friends that I have in Parliament. But that lack of verification is a glaring gap. We can't, the point is this, Mr. Babb and viewers, we cannot go off of what modular builds is saying about themselves. It's their PR. He has a UK accent. He's fast talking, a great salesman. All of their ads, it's dramatic. The ads are dramatic. Snapping, things snapping, and they're cutting steel, and it looks impressive and fast. And anytime you see stuff like that, you got to stop. Simply put, the company's internal videos and interviews shows us what they want us to see. We need independent engineers to give reports. We want to see completed handover certificates, warranty documents, and proof that these homes are durable, that they're safe, and compliant for Caribbean conditions. Both Guyana and Barbados face low-lying, flood-prone terrain, Mr. Babb and viewers. Guyana's coast sits largely at or below sea level. Barbados, we have extensive flat coastal plains. We know that well. Where most people live, we're very flat. That makes robust foundations, elevated plains, and sophisticated drainage systems non-negotiable. We know that when the rain falls, we know what happens. These site works are often expensive to build these robust foundations for our kind of, terrain. Yes. And what we found, I don't know if it's the same in Barbados, but what we found in Guyana, some of that they leave out the cost of the foundation. Okay. And also the time. These are some problems that we see overseas, and then we will have some discussion, Mr. Babb and viewers. One of the things that we found is that some of these units are they're prone to get damp and mold. Okay. Sometimes the steel corrodes in the salt air without proper coating. And you notice he corrected himself on there when he was talking about the steel, that it was not proof. It was not, he said it was not salt water proof. He used another term. Inadequate tie down and anchoring can fail in hurricane winds. So we have to look at that. And why this is important, everybody, is that a 10-day house could become an expensive, short-lived reality. Let me read that again. A 10-day house could become an expensive, short-lived reality. In Guyana, I found today some concerns about site and foundation needs being overlooked in the promotional pricing. The same risk could apply here in Barbados. In Barbados, the hidden soil, the drainage and coastal exposure costs can more than double the headline price. That's the risk taxpayers need answered before signing contracts. Mr. Babb, any thoughts there?
Um, I'm wondering how much investigation was done and that our government was be sold on this type of housing for Barbadians and to be built. What type of where did they get the any records or any and where houses were built and were able to withstand hurricane, the longevity of the building itself? Where did they get their information from? So that this housing, which is under investigation, should be still involved in house building. I cannot understand what this government is thinking about, and we have not heard of cost. What is how much will each house cost? They said low income earners.
Yeah, low income earners. I'm not sure if it is the same price that they would have you know promoted the others at. So I
Mhm.
don't know. Probably there is a price. If somebody knows what the price is and can tell us, put it in the comment section. We
Right,
would
I've
really
never seen the
appreciate
price.
that.
I'm not saying what how much the government has paid, or if if the government if a homeowner will have to deal with hope and not the person who's building the house. I believe the person is building the house for the hope housing, and after um, mismanaging 60 million of our taxpayers' money, why are we going to go back to them?
That's the thing. As you
The
said,
premise, the premise of promise, the premise of promise and investigation. So that's I stole from a company, but I'm going to allow to do business with that hand over my head.
yes, yes. Huh. But they're moving along merrily, and no accountability for the $60 million.
They
No
should not be involved in.
accountability.
They should not be involved in housing projects until that investigation is completed. I'm sorry. They
Let,
owe
let,
it to Barbadians.
Listen, as somebody says, the court in London shut him down before, uh, right? But if it is the same company, and that's how we are asking Hardip Singh to tell us, is it your company? Did was there a winding up order by the High Court in London for your company? How many homes did you build in London? One of the things that we found, there's another lady, a UK from the UK, who in the evening started to help me, Mr. Bob, on this. And one of the things that we found was that the company, which I'm asking Hardeep Singh if it's the same company, there was no record of them building a home. What they built, what they did was extension, like of a garage, or they built greenhouses.
Oh, so he
That's
building
what
sheds. He building what Barbadian call a shed.
shed. Now that is what we saw. That is actually what we saw, right? Of the company that we're asking Hardeep Singh if that is their company because it has the same a similar name,
Okay.
and that's the one that was liquidated by the High Court judge. They had to wind it up because they weren't paying taxes They weren't able to pay their bills as they became due.
Mm-hmm. And we wonder why,
We
You,
have
you
to,
have to wonder why they were unable to pay their bills if it's the
right?
same company.
Yeah. So this is what these are the questions that we yes, I shared. Okay. We have not seen. And again, Hardip Singh, answer please. Can you show us people living in the homes that you did in the UK? Can you give that to us? Why is it that when we get to hear fast, somebody talking a different accent and talking fast, we just believe everything that they think? Or is it
I,
that
gi-
that
I give
is not
away
that
the
they
money.
do,
I
but
give
that
away our money.
they give away your money, or they
Yeah.
didn't go and find them like the White Oak people who come in and get the $58 million.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody get a cut from the $58 million, right? And White Oak gone about the business, and we're still in the same
Yeah.
position that we're
Yeah.
in. We're still high debt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here it is. Somebody said money is disappearing. Somebody said the houses might float in the rain, right? And somebody said, a dog bit you once, shame on you. If he bite you twice, shame on you, right? Listen, this here sound very fishy, very very fishy, very fishy. I'm telling you. Let me just finish, almost finish, the my little research that I did today. I went ahead, Mr. Babb, and I put together an open letter that we're going to release, that open letter tomorrow, an open letter to the Minister of Housing and also to Hope Inc., right? Because it is too important. This is too important. I'm so happy that Senator Ryan, who is going to join us, he's
Yeah.
trying to join us on Wednesday, that he raised this issue. The challenge that we have, Barbados, is that we do not have any a Freedom of Information Act. And so what that means is that public scrutiny matters. Do you hear me? Public scrutiny matters. Don't let them tell you you don't love your country while you are scrutinizing what they're doing. That they're gearing up for election, and they're going to put out a whole lot of patriotism in November to show you how patriotic they are, and that anybody who dissents does not love the country. But without a Freedom of Information Act, public scrutiny matters.
Agree.
And that's why, Mr. Babb, we're going to publish the Open Citizens Letter that everybody is going to share, right? That will go to Hope Inc. and the Ministry of Housing. And it's requesting them to release all contract documents, company ownership details, the tender records, and certifications. Because here's a question: how many other companies were vying for this contract in Barbados? When was the tender process? What was so outstanding about this particular company that they were chosen? We're calling for immediate answers. Who owns the company? Who approved the deal? Who approved the deal? And what protections exist for the public's funds? And to the Ministry of Hope Inc., you must also tell us if Modular Builds Barbados is legally and financially independent of the UK entity that has That must be a caller calling in. Just give us a moment, please. That was subject to a winding up order on October 22, 2025. If they're connected, that is not a minor paperwork issue. It's a major financial and reputational red flag that demands immediate explanation. The people who will live in these houses deserve better than a PR and quick fix. They deserve guaranteed safety, local employment, and durable homes, not headlines and hushed procurement. We want full disclosure of the contracts, the publication of the MOUs, and we're asking for this. But this is the BLP government, where everything is is non-transparent, no accountability. We would like to see corporation matching. Show the registration numbers and directors for every linked entity in the UK, Guyana, and Barbados. Independent engineer inspections and copies of certifications for foundations, the wind/hurricane ratings and materials, performance bonds, warranties. You think we're gonna get those, Mr. Mr.
No,
Mr.
no, they're not going to say anything. But that does not mean that we don't have to keep pushing and making an issue, because it appears based on what you have on the screen that this government has a problem with housing scandals.
Mm.
I am not sure why they're using housing, and for I don't know if they're using it for extra financial money gains or to top up their campaign funding. But it seems that they always have a problem with housing scams. So I'm saying that whether they say anything or not, we have, as the public, it is our money, and we're saying to them, you're not going to mismanage another $60 million or more of our money before give them open with us. We're after we were burned as taxpayers and robbed of $60 million. We must demand transparency in housing with anything to do with what from here on in, and they owe it to us, because the prime minister said that there was going to be an investigation, and declaring that there's an investigation means that there was something was wrong with what happened in that housing, and she admitted it. So here we are now that you have given a company which we know little about to do work for Hope Housing.
Yeah. Actually, on the screen here, Dave, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Is talking about hardwood housing factory. This is an let's give the credit where we are reading this from. Is what's it? Can we go up, Dave, so we can see exactly? Barbados Underground. Actually, they were they. I guess they were us then in that time, and they were putting out a lot of this kind of information. I don't know where they've gone now, but and here we're seeing they're talking about Hardwood Housing Factory Inc. is an example of the BLP's arrogance and contempt for you. It's a serious matter. You ought to be of your tax dollars are being spent willy-nilly without accountability. It's only when the BLP is put under pressure that you get disclosure. If David Thompson had raised the flag by calling for an independent forensic audit at Hardwood Housing Factory, you would have never known it's a government-owned company. It's the same thing with the Hope Inc. It's the same thing all over again.
We better I wouldn't be surprised if some of them they had shares in the same company that is building the building the steel houses, proposing to build steel houses.